Welcome back to the invisible world of content. In this episode, we'll be looking at supply chain thinking and how it streamlines omnichannel. What are supply chains for content? Well, it's the systematic stages that happen when we create and transform our content. It's just how content gets done. And with supply chain thinking, we can maximize all of the efficiency, the volume, and the reach of our valuable content assets. It gets those content assets up and moving and involved in different channels so that they can perform the work we need them to do. There's a lot we can improve if we step back and look at the big picture. Look at the supply chain and how the parts work. So today, we're going to continue our exploration on the key patterns of omnichannel content by getting to know content supply chain thinking. It changes everything. Okay, ready? Here we go. Third pattern is supply chain thinking. All right, you're probably familiar with the manufacturing supply chain. Physical resources are sourced and transformed into components. Those components are shipped and transformed again into final products. There's a motion from supplier to consumer in the supply chain. And that motion involves transport, and then some sort of enrichment, some sort of assembly, and then it moves to the next stage until it's finally consumed by the consumer. If we're not thinking about that for our content and our customer experiences, we're allowing all of that process to happen accidentally. And things that happen accidentally when it comes to complex processes also get really messy really fast. So by specializing and focusing on the individual steps within the manufacturing supply chain, all of those different stages can be optimized. It wouldn't make much sense to have the same team responsible for sourcing each resource and defining and combining and packaging and delivering a final product all managed in the same department for one channel, but yet we do it like that all the time. And so we need to shift the thinking, and organizations that are leaning forward into omnichannel programs are taking this real supply chain mindset to look at the way content is produced, the patterns by which content happens, the procedures and the processes, the operations, the content operations that make the supply chain function. And at A, we've been working on a content orchestration model that allows for there to be essentially a playbook that is shared to help manage all of the activities around a content supply chain. The smartest companies are realizing this, that we need a content supply chain, a process that moves content from creation through stages of refinement and transformation and then out to omni-channel delivery. And that can't happen within one system or platform. A lot of vendors build products that can take content from authoring through management and delivery. But the reality is, in any organization, especially our mid-market clients, by the way, the smaller companies, they all have many systems and many ways that content gets acquired and delivered. No company, large or small, does everything in one system. And so an orchestration plan needs to be put into place to keep the flow of content and the components moving through the supply chain. It has to work with those standards, right? Modular content structure, modular semantics. Those standards have to be applied across technology. And that that is what allows the content to flow when it's all harmoniously sharing the same coherent patterns. That supply chain thinking elevates all of us into more effective ways of working as an emergent effect rather than a single project or a single technical implementation. One other important point on this pattern before we move on. We need to architect content supply chains with decoupled content as the main assumption. What that means is content doesn't get owned by one platform. It moves between them and transforms between them. That's a big change. It's a big, big change. But it's necessary for omnichannel to really take off in an intelligent way. Managing content is going to go live before and after it leaves that system. And indeed, it has to move through that system in a way that connects easily to its destinations and all of the representations and formats that that content will take. So, decoupling the content, separating it from our systems, is a really important part of supply chain thinking.
On the next episode of The Invisible World of Content,
let's see how content as a service is the powerhouse behind delivering modular content, where we break down content into bite-sized pieces. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to catch the latest episodes. Check out all the content on simpleA.com. And until we meet again, let's take one step at a time towards a smarter world.